can't you just go park somewhere else?
Yeah, I will in a little while.
Why are you sitting here next to my blind
I'm
trying
not.
to impede him? You told me that Buffalo wouldn't cross the road if you're right here. Why'd you say that?
I would appreciate if you would leave me alone.
Why would you say that if you and then park
Because,
here?
Buffalo probably won't cross up here with all the noise. There's
So
been
you
4 cars
knowingly
in here
do
this
that.
morning.
So you knowingly are impeding on my hunt, correct?
No,
And what guide service do you work for? You said you have 11 helpers out here. May I ask?
it's none of your business.
Oh, well, you're impeding on my hunt, so when I report you, I need to know the agency
How am I
and
impeding
company
on
that
your
I'm
hunt?
reporting. Because you just told me you're going to sit here and block bison from
No,
coming.
I'm going to go through this, do my business, what I need to do, and then I'm going to leave. If you want to, if you're welcome to sit in the blind, I'm going to
Then
be
why
leaving
would you
soon.
tell me that you're just going to sit here and take a nap?
I am going to take a nap for a minute.
Okay, so now you said you're doing business, and then,
I'm going to finish my stuff, and then I'm going to go.
What are you talking about? You just said you're going to nap here. It's
I
on
am going to take a
recording.
nap for a few minutes. But your blind is on the other side of the hill. You see that we're on a hill?
My blind is literally less than 100 yards that way. It's about 50 yards. I'll walk back with it. But
Walk back over
you
it.
knowingly said that you would block bison.
No, you're making shit up.
Okay, what did you say then?
You have a gun.
Okay,
Why do you have a gun?
because I'm hunting out here.
Get the gun and please get away from me right now.
If you try to...
I feel threatened right now. I'm telling you, I feel threatened. You have a gun. Get away from me.
You just pulled his gun out and glocked one in the load.
You have a rifle and you just pointed it at me.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Literally, it's literally to
Get
my
away from
side.
me. Sir, I'm asking you. I'm going to back up to get away from you. I appreciate it if you leave.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Harvestlandtv. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can support this channel. All the descriptions in the link below go towards supporting this channel as well, so go hit those links in the description below. The Patreon, apparel, all that stuff goes towards supporting this channel and supporting us taking veterans out hunting and fishing to combat veteran suicide. If anybody out there is having suicide ideation, please reach out and talk to somebody. Let them know what you're going through. This is good to do. This is not a bad or shameful thing to do. This is good. Everyone has to talk to somebody and let them know what kind of struggles and trials that they're going through. Please reach out and talk to somebody, all right? You didn't come into this world on your own. Please don't try and leave this world on your own. Today we're going to be talking about a buffalo hunt up in the House Rock area of Arizona. It's a very difficult hunt, and it's been very controversial for the last few years where there's been a lot of hunter conflict. You know, this has been an ongoing problem in Arizona, and the Game and Fish really don't have a resolution for it, or haven't really been trying to resolve some of the hunter conflict up there. And this is one of the best, examples of the Game and Fish remaining stagnant. And not only that, but we have the Game and Fish lying in the Arizona Game and Fish Commission meeting where they banned trail cameras. I'm going to show you a video first off of Larry Phoenix. He seems like a good guy. All these people in the Game and Fish, I really want to stress to everybody that, I love every single one of them. I believe they're good people, but at the same time, they lie and they push their own agendas. So I'm not trying to spill hate at them and just nothing but hate from them, but I mean, come on. These guys are lying in plain day, and they need to be called out. It's a straight lie that they're perpetuating to push their own agenda, which is to ban trail cameras. And that's exactly what they did. So this event took place on June 11th. It's the same day that the trail camera ban was voted on by the commission. The hunter-on-hunter conflict was up on June 11th as well in the morning, and it happened at like 7 o'clock, I think. 7 o'clock, 7:30ish. And the Game and Fish Commission announced it by like 8:30 to 9. Okay? So they knew within like an hour of it happening, and then they relayed that information to the Game and Fish Commission meeting to say that this is hunter-on-hunter conflict over trail cameras, when it was never about trail cameras. It was never about trail cameras. And we're going to prove that in this video. So stay tuned. Again, subscribe. Thanks for watching. God bless. Alright, so the first video we're going to watch here is with Larry Phoenix. He's going to be giving the PowerPoint presentation of the reason why we need to have a trail camera ban. He's giving the justification, and in this justification that he's giving us, he's talking about concerns. And it's kind of odd to me that he already had this PowerPoint made before this, and then like they found out about the conflict like within 30 minutes or within an hour of it actually being called in and happening. And so it's like they almost knew that something like this was going to happen. Well, we have proof that they knew that this was going to happen. They had an idea that this was going to happen. And so, I don't know. I think it's a little far-fetched to say they planned it all out like that, but it is pretty convenient that he was able to so eloquently put in the fact that we're having hunter conflict up on the house rock over a bison hunt. So let's go ahead and listen to what he has to say. He's going to be talking about concerns with trail cameras, and he's going to use this bison hunt to prove that there's a massive problem with hunter conflict over checking trail cameras. So let's take a look.
So as we go through the concerns, the first one here is the use of trail cameras has become an increasing source of conflict between and amongst hunters, including increased traffic by hunters checking cameras for a current hunt, something that would be going on today, or for their future hunt, but during somebody else's hunt.
So he's laying the foundation right there to tell us that basically somebody's trying to go prepare for their future hunt or the current hunt that they're in, and there's hunter on hunter conflict when they go and check their trail cameras. See what he has to say next.
Now, there's been a lot of discussion about how we got here and the actual safety and the public's concern and safety of this situation. So I'm only going to bring up this incident that is occurring as we speak because of that. And so right now there's two game and fish officers that are headed up to the North Kaibab because of a conflict over a trail camera over a bison hunt that started this morning. A person goes in to check his camera, hunter that's sitting on the water, is a little upset, pulls out his rifle. The person that's checking the camera pulls out his handgun. Nothing happens from that point, but that's a real life happening as we speak conflict because of that trail camera.
That is an absolute lie right there that Larry Phoenix is saying. An absolute lie. He's saying that this conflict right now of a hunter pulling a gun out on another hunter. First off, he's saying that one hunter is walking up to another hunter with a gun and then another hunter is pulling the gun out on him over a trail camera. It's just not true. It's completely fabricated, and they're using it to push their agenda in the meeting to influence other people and to influence the commissioners, even though they had their minds made up already, but to influence a personal agenda of why trail cameras need to be banned. This conflict that they're talking about was never about trail cameras, and we're going to prove that in the following video.
So we're sending two officers to respond because Coconut County has asked us to do so. They're closer than they are, so that's where it's at this point. Next slide, please, Ben.
So I interviewed Zach. Zach is the one that you'll see later on in this video where he was the one that went and videoed Chad. Chad is the one who locked and loaded a pistol and escalated violence. Okay? So Zach's the one that's videotaping. He called the Game and Fish, and at like probably around 8 o'clock, 7:30 to 8 o'clock, it was called in, and nobody talked to Zach or approached Zach from the Game and Fish Commission until 5 o'clock that night. 5 o'clock that night. That's the response time that they had on him. They talked to every single other person other than Zach. You thinking somebody pulls a gun on you and you call them in, people, your safety is at jeopardy. And nobody's responding to you until, like, what, 10 hours later? 8 hours later? That's ridiculous.
Next slide, please, Ben.
Let's go, Ben. Okay, so next we're going to show you this picture. This picture is going to give you kind of an outline of how the whole thing was laid out, who was sitting where, and who was parked where. Alright, so let's take a look at this map. The white dot is a Salt Lake block right there, which is perfectly legal to use in the aid of taking big game. The white dotted lines is where the buffalo come off of the Grand Canyon National Forest, where you cannot hunt them. And they come onto the Kaibab every now and then, National Forest, where you can hunt them. And that's why you have a salt lick block set up right there. So these are just, the white dotted line is just resembling the trails that lead up there. And then the red dot right here is a hunting blind, which Zach was sitting in. And the teal dot here is where Bart was sitting at in his blind. And then the yellow dot over here represents Chad and where he was parked at. Now this line right here, this blue dotted line that I have, is mapped out to about 93 yards, so it's pretty dang close to where he was parked at. So I interviewed Zach, and from what I could tell, his storyline lines up the best with what's in the report, because I did a public records request on all of this. Chad's storyline and Brett's storyline seem to fluctuate many times, and they also have words that they've exchanged on social media, but we won't get into all of that. But in a nutshell, this is what happened. Brett came into his blind early at like 3 o'clock or 3:30 time frame, and because his alarm clock went off earlier, the time zone, I don't know, who cares? He got in there earlier, right? He beat Zach to the blind. However, there's 2 blinds, and legally in Arizona, you can hunt a blind without owning it. It doesn't matter. If a blind's set up there, you're in there, you can go into that blind and use that blind to hunt legally. And nobody can sit there and say you have to leave, right? This is why when I go with another hunter or I see another hunter, I like to talk with them. I like to see what their game plan is, and I like to see if we can either join up or we can help each other tag out, you know? In most cases, I'll just default to let them get tagged out first. But anyway, words were exchanged. Zach came into the blind around 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the morning. Words were exchanged. They got in an argument. They got in a bickerment, and they started threatening each other and saying, "I'm going to knock your teeth out," and cussing at each other. And so Brett just left, which that was the right thing to do. That was the mature thing to do. I would have left as well. Just leave. If I'm having this much conflict with somebody, I'm just going to get out of the area. So that's called biting the bullet and going away. All right, I'll go hunt somewhere else, or I'll let them hunt this day and I'll move on with my business. It sucks to do that sometimes, especially on a once-in-a-lifetime tag, but you got to do that. However, Brett went and he told Chad what had happened and what had transpired between him and Zach. So Chad is on record with the Game and Fish. A Game and Fish officer talked to Chad on record on the phone, and Chad said he was going, if he had any kind of conflict with anybody, he was going to set up a lawn chair over a water hole or a salt block, lick, whatever, anything. He was going to set up a lawn chair and prevent the buffalo from coming over to impede on somebody's hunt. And we have that on record 3 days before June 11th when this event took place, and the Game and Fish knew about it. And they know that Chad's a loose cannon, and they know he's fired up, and they know there's conflict. There's been conflict on these bison hunts for a while. And they didn't do anything about it. They didn't position anybody there to resolve anything. They didn't have anybody patrolling that area. It took them so long to get there. And it's honestly pretty crazy to me, all right? And so they did not prepare for anything to happen, even though they know they have a guy who's up there. Now, mind you, Chad is a licensed guide. He is a licensed guide. He can legally guide people. He doesn't have a bison tag. He doesn't have a license. He's just out there guiding people. So Chad is not guiding Brett, from what I can tell from the report. The report says that he is guiding him at one spot, one instance, and then all of a sudden, now later in the report, they cleared it up and they're saying, no, he wasn't a guide for Brett. Anyway, either way, they are in connection with each other. They know each other. They're friends, whatever. So Brett tells Chad. Chad gets pissed, does the most immature thing you could possibly do, and he's going to do exactly what he told the Game and Fish 3 days before this event transpired. He's going to go up there and he's going to impede on another hunter's hunt. So that's exactly what he did. He goes up there, he grabs the SIM card out of his trail camera, he screams and yells at Zach and calls him an idiot, and then says he's just going to go take a nap and prevent the buffalo from coming across the forest boundary. And then Chad goes back to his truck and he's sitting there, and Zach sits there for a while and then just is like, this guy's not going away. I can hear his vehicle. He's back here parked, and he's preventing the buffalo from coming over here, because buffalo are not going to come if they see a vehicle parked or if they hear a vehicle. So then Zach makes the choice, I got nothing else to do. I'm not going to get a buffalo like this, so I got to go talk to the guy. And he does the right thing and pulls out his video camera, because if Zach never pulled out his video camera, this would all be hearsay and nobody would probably have believed Zach. And so that's what we're going to watch next. We're going to watch Zach's video. Zach is the one that's videotaping with his camera, and I want you to pay specific attention to see if his shoulder's ever dipping. If he's ever, because I watched it multiple times. He has a rifle in his right hand, which I would have taken my rifle with me as well. I saw in the report, why did you bring your rifle? I'm not going to leave my rifle in a blind. You're out of your mind. In the Marine Corps, you would have got throat chopped and hazed for days, because you don't leave your rifle just sitting around. It's always on your hip. It's always at your side. You never leave your rifle anywhere. So Zach did what I would say is the most responsible gun-owning thing that you can do, which is to take your rifle with you. So in my mind, Zach is doing the responsible gun-owning thing, and he's taking his gun with him. I watched it over and over and over again. I can't find a place where Zach is dipping his shoulder, because he's got a big rifle. You need a big rifle, caliber rifle, to take down a bison. So he's got a long rifle. I don't ever see him dipping his shoulder to the left. I don't ever see him pointing his gun anywhere, because I thought maybe he pointed his gun. You know, people that are, you know, first-time hunters or just hunting for a couple of years make that mistake all the time where they point with their gun, okay? I never saw him do that. I never saw anything that gave away the fact that he was pointing his gun at Chad, and the fact that he is so close to Chad's truck that if he was going to point his gun at Chad, he would have been hitting the side of Chad's truck before the barrel ever got to pointing towards him. So just pay close attention to that. We'll stop and we'll talk about a few points, but let's see what the video has.
Can't you just go park somewhere else?
Yeah, I will in a little while.
Why are you sitting here next to my blind
I'm
trying
not.
to impede him? You told me that buffalo wouldn't cross the road if you're right here. Why'd you say that?
I would appreciate if you would leave me alone.
Why would you say that if you and then park
Because,
here?
Buffalo probably won't cross up here with all the noise. There's
So
been
you
4 cars
knowingly
in here
do
this
that.
morning.
So you knowingly are impeding on my hunt, correct?
No,
What's your name, sir?
it's none of your business.
Okay, who do you work for? I'll get the license plate. And what guide service do you work for? You said you have 11 helpers out here. May I ask?
It's none of your business.
Oh, well, you're impeding on my hunt, so when I report you, I need to know the agency
How am I
and company
impeding
that
on
I'm
your
reporting. Because you just told me you're going to sit here and block bison from
No,
coming.
I'm going to go through this, do my business, what I need to do, and then I'm going to leave. If you're welcome to sit in the blind, I'm going to
Then
be
why
leaving
would you
soon.
tell me that you're just going to sit here and take a nap?
I am going to take a nap for a minute.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. He's lying right off the bat. First off, he's saying, I'm here to conduct my business, which is to grab my SIM card and then leave and, you know, check it. It takes 10 minutes tops, to check your SIM card and then leave. He's there for way longer, okay? He went in there and said, you're an idiot. I'm going to sit in my truck and I'm going to take a nap and I'm not going to let the bison come. He's in his truck and sitting down because he probably didn't bring a lawn chair like he stated he was going to. But, so he's there actively impeding on another hunter's hunt. And first off, he says all that stuff, trash talk, because he wasn't being recorded. Now when Zach comes up and he's recording him, now he's got to be a good boy and he's trying to make himself look better. People do this all the time, all right? Once they start having accountability, they try to straighten up a little bit. However, Chad gets twisted here and he gets caught up in his lie. All right, so he's conducting his business and leaving, and Zach's like, you're not leaving, you're gonna stay here, you said you were gonna take a nap. And then he's like, yeah, I am gonna take a nap, because he's pissed off that him and Brett got into it. So he did the most immature thing you could possibly do, which is to come up here and just cause conflict. That's all he's doing, is causing conflict. And the Game and Fish knew about it, and they did nothing about it. And they still are doing nothing about it. They're not charging him with nothing. They're not prosecuting him with nothing. And we'll get into that later. But watch him get caught in the lies.
Okay, so now you said you're doing business, and then
I'm going to finish my stuff, and then I'm going to go.
What are you talking about? You just said you're going to nap here.
Right there. You see how he's rubbing his head now? He's starting to do this. He's like, he's getting his words twisted, and then the anger starts. He starts getting frustrated and angry, and now he doesn't have really a good excuse for any of this because he's been caught in the lie.
It's
I am
on
going to take a
recording.
nap for a few minutes.
There he is. I am going to take a nap for a few minutes.
But your blind is on the other side of the hill. You see that we're on a hill?
My blind is literally less than 100 yards that way. It's about 50 yards. I'll walk back with it, but...
Walk up.
See, his assessment was spot on. His blind was actually 85 yards from where that incident took place. The Game and Fish walked it off and measured it.
You knowingly said that you had blocked bison.
No, you're making it up.
Okay, what did you say then?
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention. He's making stuff up. Let's rewind that real quick. Let's replay that real quick. I want you all to look at Chad's eyes from this point on. I want you to look to see if he ever looks down at Zach's rifle. Remember, Zach is holding a rifle the whole time, okay? He never looks down at Zach's rifle, and not once. But when he got caught in when he started rubbing his head and he started getting caught in his lies and he's starting to get frustrated, then he resorts to violence. He resorts to intimidation. He resorts to a pretty pathetic reason to lock and load a gun. So just keep an eye on his eyes. Watch his eyes. And then watch his hands. You always want to be watching somebody's hands. When somebody's got threatening force on you, somebody's threatening your life, you're always looking at their hands because they can pull a gun out, a knife, anything. What they're doing, what they're going to try and threaten you with and attack you with is going to be with their hands, all right? So if they're pulling a gun out, if they're doing something, you always are looking at the hands. That's where the threat is. But Chad never looks at the threat. Check it out.
You're doing business and then
I'm going to finish my stuff and then I'm going to go.
What are you talking about? You just said you're going to nap here. It's
I'm
on
going to take a
recording.
nap for a few minutes. But your blind is on the other side of the hill. You see that we're on a hill?
My blind is literally less than 100 yards that way. It's about 50 yards. I'll walk back with it, but
Walk back over.
you knowingly said that you had blocked bison.
No, you're making it up.
Okay, what did you say then?
You have a gun.
Okay.
It isn't until he already reached for his pistol, ladies and gentlemen. He put his phone down, he turned his head, and he put his phone down because he knew he was going for his gun. He grabbed his gun, and then he looked down. You have a gun. Why do you have a gun? I'm hunting. Why are you wearing camo? He's the only one that's not hunting up there.
Gun.
Because I'm hunting out here.
Get the gun and please get away from me right now.
If you try to...
I feel threatened right now. I'm telling you, I feel threatened. You have a gun. Get away from me.
You just pulled his gun out and glocked one in the load.
You have a rifle and you just pointed it at me.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Literally, it's literally to my
Get away from
side.
me. Sir, I'm asking you. I'm going to back up to get away from you. I appreciate it if you leave.
Okay.
So that's ridiculous. That's an overreaction. That he was never threatened. He's been standing there the whole time with the rifle in his hand, and he's been sitting there stirring up conflict and lying the whole time. And then he just pulls his gun out and pulls that crap. He shouldn't be in possession of a firearm. He blows his top. He's got some anger issues. He's blowing up. All right? And he's locking, loading a gun in front of people in public over nothing, over no threat at all. There was no threat there. Absolutely no threat. No escalation of violence, nothing. And he locks and loads a gun.
I'll just set my rifle here so it doesn't act wild.
Now at this point I would have just walked away, all right? And I asked Zach, I said, why don't you just walk away? I mean, this guy's out of control, clearly. Why did you continue to walk up to him? And he said, I put my gun down because I didn't want him to feel threatened. You know, I never wanted to threaten him. And I wanted to go and confront him because I didn't want him to get away with this stuff. These guys think they can get away with doing stuff like this and scare people, and I'm sick of being pushed around, is what he said. And I'm not going to let it fly anymore. You know, he said, I put my gun down, which at this point, Zach is risking his own life, okay? He's risking his own life to go over there. I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have done it, but he's not doing anything illegal. He's just trying to hold this guy accountable.
He just literally put one in the chamber and acted like I pointed a gun with him, a rifle at him that takes 2 hands to hold. I've been holding the camera with my hand. Now I'm unarmed.
What's your deal?
What's your deal, sir? You're literally trying to impede on my hunt.
I came even further back here. You had a gun and you swung it up at me. And
I did not.
Set it down and
It's literally a rifle. I can't hold it with
I'm
more.
gonna call the cops right now.
Go then call them. This is all recorded.
Good. You just pointed a gun at me.
Good. It's on recording. It didn't happen.
So there you go. That's the rest of the video. He clearly didn't point a gun at him at all. There's no reason for doing what Chad did. You know, he got out of control and he went for a firearm. That's just a terrible decision to make. If you're starting to feel yourself getting out of control, you probably shouldn't be going for a firearm. It's not going to be the best choice, okay? I mean, lock and loading a gun is a show of force. It's a show of force. It says, hey, I'm ready to go. I mean business. And if you don't back off, I will fire because you are threatening my life and you're threatening me. So for Chad to lock and load over nothing, there was no threat of violence. There was no threat or escalated violence at all. It's just ridiculous. And the Game and Fish were going to charge both of them. They went through with trying to charge both of them with felony charges of offensive display of a rifle. Are you kidding me? Or of a firearm. Are you kidding me? They were trying to charge Zach with an offensive display of a firearm. That means anybody walking through the woods with a gun on their hip could be offensive. I mean, I just don't understand where the Game and Fish came, or what position they came from, saying that Zach was displaying a firearm offensively. Now, both the charges were dropped. The prosecutor isn't going to follow through with it. And so Zach is going to walk away with nothing, which is good. And Chad is going to walk away with nothing, which is bad. Because this guy is guiding and teaching people in Arizona how to hunt bison. And they're paying him for it. And that's ridiculous. To act like that, and to be a teacher, and to be a guide, and to be accountable for people's safety, and he's acting like that. He goes up there to purposely cause conflict, and to act like that is despicable. He should have his guide license taken from him, at a minimum. So, in conclusion, the Game and Fish used a situation to benefit their agenda and their narrative of how trail cameras cause conflict, when they knew 3 days before that a guide in Arizona, a legal guide who is well known by the Game and Fish for being a bison guide, says that I'm going to go set up a lawn chair over salt or water and cause conflict and impede on another hunter's hunt if there's any issues. They let it go down, and then they used it to lie in a meeting. I think it's disgraceful. I don't know why they do these things. I don't know what their train of thought is, and I don't know why Larry Phoenix decided to talk about that and make that a point in that meeting on that day, within an hour of the event being called in. So it's just absolutely ridiculous, and it's unprofessional. It's extremely unprofessional. Why are you sitting here talking about a case that you have no idea what it's about? Does this whole video look like it was about trail cameras?